All right, so are you ready to boost your IQ? Because today we're taking a deep dive into all the ways you can do just that.
Sounds exciting.
It is. We're looking at a podcast episode, 15 Ways to Boost Your IQ Level, and getting into the how and the why.
I love that because it's not just about, doing a puzzle every now and again, right?
Right, exactly. It's like, how do all the little things we do every day actually impact our brains? Like, I've always thought, is intelligence just like genetic?
Mm-hmm.
But this episode's got me thinking maybe we have more control than we think.
I think so, yeah.
So first up is reading.
Of course. Gotta have that one.
Yeah, but they go deeper than just read more, which we've all heard, right?
Right.
It's read widely and often. Like, get out of your comfort zone.
Yes. And think about it. When you only read in one genre, you're only getting exposed to a limited set of ideas.
That's so true. I get stuck in my fiction bubble all the time.
Yeah.
They actually recommend philosophy, science fiction, history,
Ooh.
which I haven't touched since high school.
And there's a reason why those genres in particular help.
Yeah.
I mean, philosophy, it makes you grapple with those big concepts.
Yeah.
Science fiction pushes the boundaries of possibility and imagination.
Right.
And then history, it challenges you to understand all those causes and effects.
It's like a mental workout almost. Different genres, different muscle groups.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, sold. More diverse reading list for me. What's next?
All right, learning a new language.
Ooh, this is a tough one, especially if you're, past your language learning prime.
Right, like you're not in school anymore.
Exactly. Oh, I tried to pick up Spanish a couple years ago, and I just hit a wall.
It's hard.
It is. But the episode mentions some pretty amazing cognitive benefits to being bilingual.
Oh, for sure.
Like, they said, bilingual people can switch between tasks more easily, they adapt better to new situations, and, get this, delayed onset of dementia.
Really?
Dementia from learning a new language.
That's fascinating.
I know. So apparently, constantly switching between languages builds something called a cognitive reserve in the brain.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it strengthens the neural pathways and kind of builds up a resilience against cognitive decline.
Makes sense.
Okay, I'm officially motivated, but how do we even go about this? Those apps?
Well, the episode mentions apps, yeah. Like Duolingo, Babbel, good for vocab, basic grammar.
All right.
But the key is immersion.
Immersion, like move to another country.
No, not necessarily. Watching foreign films with subtitles, listening to music. You can even find conversation partners online these days. It's about surrounding yourself with the language as much as possible.
All right, challenge accepted. I'm thinking Italian.
Yeah.
Food, culture, beautiful language, maybe a trip to Tuscany for motivation.
Nice.
Okay, what else is on this list?
Well, this one's for you. You love brain training games,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Sudoku, crosswords. I could spend hours.
Hours.
It's so fun. But it's good for you, too.
More than you might think.
Yeah.
Think about the skills you're using. Sudoku pattern recognition, logical deduction, chess strategic thinking, planning ahead.
Oh, man, I'm terrible at chess. Maybe I should give it another try. I do remember reading somewhere that even a little bit of brain training can make a difference.
Absolutely. They actually suggest just 15-20 minutes a day.
Oh, okay.
It's about consistency,
Right.
not necessarily spending hours at a time.
Gotcha. Small changes, big impact.
Exactly.
Speaking of small changes, let's talk about exercise.
Okay.
I know it's good for our bodies, but sometimes I forget about that mind-body connection.
It's so crucial. Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, which delivers all that oxygen and nutrients that are essential for optimal brain function.
Right.
Plus, you get those endorphins, which boost your mood.
Yeah.
And it helps reduce those pesky stress hormones that can cloud thinking.
It's like hitting the refresh button for your brain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like, they recommend at least 30 minutes of moderate exercise 5 times a week.
Okay.
Running, swimming, dancing, even just a brisk walk.
I've actually started doing yoga recently. Does that count?
Oh, absolutely. Yoga's amazing. You're getting that physical movement, but also that mindfulness, which is great for both physical and mental well-being.
Perfect. Okay, I'm feeling motivated already. This is making me rethink my daily routine. What's next?
All right, this one might surprise you. Mindfulness and meditation. Now, I know sometimes people think that meditation is just about relaxing, but it's so much more than that.
I'll admit, I've always been a little skeptical. I'm not really the sit still and empty your mind type.
Yeah, I get that.
But they're saying it's a powerful brain training tool.
It is. Studies show that regular mindfulness practice can actually increase the density of gray matter in the brain.
Really?
Yeah. And specifically in areas associated with learning, memory, and emotional regulation.
Hold on. Meditation can physically change your brain.
It can. It's incredible.
That's wild. But how?
Well, it's still being researched, but the theory is that meditation strengthens those neural connections and promotes the growth of new brain cells, particularly in those key areas.
Whoa. Okay. I'm intrigued, but I have no idea where to even start.
It's easier than you think. They recommend starting with just 5 minutes a day, just focusing on your breath or a simple mantra.
5 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, and there's tons of apps out there to help guide you. Headspace, Calm, things like that.
5 minutes, I can handle that. I'm willing to try anything that could physically improve my brain. Okay, what other brain-boosting tips did they have?
Well, let's talk about fuel, brain-boosting foods.
Okay.
Did you know that your brain consumes about 20% of the calories you eat each day?
20%.
20%, which just goes to show how important it is to be feeding your brain the right nutrients.
So what should we be eating? I'm guessing it's not potato chips and cookies.
Probably not the best brain food.
Haha, yeah.
They highlighted a few key things. Omega-3 fatty acids, which are found in oily fish like salmon or walnuts. Those are essential for maintaining the structure and function of brain cells.
Okay.
Antioxidants, found in abundance in berries, help protect the brain from damage caused by free radicals.
So berries are basically brain superheroes.
Pretty much. They're packed with antioxidants and other beneficial compounds.
Oh.
And then we can't forget leafy greens, like spinach, which are loaded with folate.
Okay.
Important stuff.
I'm noticing a pattern here. A lot of these foods are things that I already enjoy.
There you go.
So eating for a sharper mind doesn't have to be a chore.
Exactly. It's about making those smart choices that nourish both your body and your brain.
Awesome. Okay, so we've covered reading, language learning, brain games, exercise, mindfulness, and food. That's a lot. What's next on this brain-boosting journey?
All right, well, this one's all about rest and recovery. Sleep.
Okay.
We all know we need it.
We do?
But do we really understand just how crucial it is for brain health?
You know, I'm definitely guilty of sacrificing sleep. Late nights working, early mornings with the kids. There just never seems to be enough time.
It's tough, I get it. But sleep isn't just about resting our bodies. It's about giving our brains time to repair, recharge, and consolidate all that information we took in during the day.
So it's like a nightly maintenance routine for our brains.
Exactly. During sleep, our brains clear out toxins, strengthen those neural connections, and prepare for the next day. When we don't get enough sleep, we deprive our brains of this essential time to recover.
Yeah, you know, I have noticed that when I'm sleep deprived, I'm just not as sharp. I get forgetful, irritable, and it's harder to focus.
Exactly, because your brain isn't functioning at its best. The episode actually recommends aiming for 7-9 hours of uninterrupted sleep each night.
Whoa, okay.
It might sound like a lot, but it's an investment in your cognitive health.
Okay, I'm gonna have to work on that one. Maybe a stricter bedtime routine or something.
That's a great start. And it's not just about the quantity of sleep, but also the quality. Make sure your room is dark, cool, and quiet. Avoid screens before bed and try to stick to a consistent sleep schedule.
All right, solid advice. Okay, I'm ready for the next tip. What else can we do to boost our brain power?
This one's all about embracing a mindset of continuous learning. Lifelong learning, in any form, is key to keeping your brain sharp and engaged.
I love that. Makes sense, right? Like if you stop challenging yourself, your brain kind of gets stuck in a rut.
Exactly. Whether you're taking a formal course, learning a new skill, reading outside your comfort zone, or even just having intellectually stimulating conversations, the process of learning new things keeps your brain active and growing.
Right. And there are so many incredible resources available these days. Online courses, workshops, even just diving deep into a topic that fascinates you on your own.
And it doesn't have to be anything complicated. Even just learning a new recipe, picking up a musical instrument, or starting a new hobby can provide that mental stimulation.
I'm starting to see a theme here. A lot of these tips are about approaching life with a sense of curiosity and a willingness to try new things.
Absolutely. It's that growth mindset that keeps our brains engaged and adaptable.
All right, I'm all about embracing that growth mindset. What's next on this list of brain-boosting tips?
You know, it's funny, we often try to avoid challenges in life, but this episode actually says we should be seeking them out.
Oh, you're talking about that tip about solving problems actively, right?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, that one didn't really grab me at first.
I get it.
I like relaxing more than actively looking for problems to solve.
I hear ya. But think about it this way. When was the last time you had that aha moment? Like you finally figured out a tough problem.
Ooh, good point.
Yeah.
Those are pretty rewarding. It's like a little mental victory lap.
Exactly. And those victories, even small ones, help build confidence and encourage us to tackle even bigger challenges later on.
Right.
The episode mentions things like solving math problems or like taking on complex projects. But it really can be anything that pushes you outside your comfort zone mentally.
So it's more about the mental effort involved than the specific activity.
Precisely. It's all about engaging those critical thinking skills, analyzing information, coming up with creative solutions. And it's in those moments of struggle that our brains really grow.
Okay, challenge accepted. What's next on this list of brain-boosting strategies?
Okay, well, this one actually ties back to something we talked about earlier about the importance of social interaction. But this time, it's not about learning a new language.
Right.
It's about actively building a network of intellectually stimulating people.
See, I've always been a bit of an introvert. I like my own company, and I don't really have a huge social circle. But the episode says that being social can actually make us smarter.
It's not so much about the quantity of your social interactions, but the quality.
Okay.
Like meaningful conversations, debates, even just listening to someone else's perspective. These are all things that can challenge our thinking in ways that just doing things by ourselves can't.
You know, I was just talking to a friend about this book we both read.
Yeah.
And she had a completely different interpretation of the story. And just hearing her perspective opened up all these new ideas and insights that I hadn't even considered.
That's a perfect example. When we have those kinds of stimulating conversations, we have to actually think about our own thoughts and consider different viewpoints, and sometimes even reevaluate our own beliefs.
Right.
As like a mental workout.
So it's not just about hanging out and chatting about the weather. It's about finding those people who challenge and inspire us intellectually.
Exactly. And those people can come from all walks of life. Colleagues, friends, family members, even people you meet at events or in online communities.
Right.
The key is to just surround yourself with diverse perspectives and engage in conversations that make you think.
Okay, challenge accepted. Time to expand my social horizons and find those brain-boosting conversations. What's next? Okay, this one's always intrigued me. Learning to play a musical instrument. I took piano lessons when I was a kid, but I never really stuck with it.
Oh.
And now I kind of regret it. This episode says it's like a full-body workout for the brain.
It really is. Think about all the things you're doing. You're coordinating your hands.
Yeah.
You're reading sheet music. You're memorizing melodies. You're tapping into your creativity. You're expressing emotions through music. It's like a whole symphony of cognitive processes.
No pun intended. All right, but seriously, is there actually scientific evidence to support all this?
Oh yeah, for sure. Studies show that musicians often have enhanced brain connectivity, meaning different parts of their brains are communicating more efficiently.
Interesting.
They also tend to have better multitasking skills, improved working memory, and they're better at processing auditory information.
Wow, that's impressive. I'm starting to think I should dig out that old keyboard. Is it ever too late to learn?
Never. And remember, it's not about becoming a virtuoso overnight.
Right.
It's the process of learning and practicing and challenging yourself that gives you those cognitive benefits.
All right, I'm sold. Maybe I'll finally learn that piano piece I've always wanted to play. What's next? Okay, this one hits close to home. Improving memory. I swear mine gets worse with every year that passes. I'm constantly misplacing my keys, forgetting appointments. It's frustrating.
I hear ya. But the good news is, memory is like any other skill. You can improve it with practice. The episode emphasizes active memory exercises.
Active memory exercises? What does that even mean?
So it's about intentionally challenging your memory instead of just relying on those external aids.
Okay.
Like trying to remember your grocery list without looking in it. Memorizing poems or speeches, or even just remembering little details from conversations or events.
So basically, I need to stop relying on my phone's notes app for everything.
Yeah, it's a good start. Challenge yourself to remember things on your own. And don't forget about mnemonic devices.
Mnemonic devices, those are like little memory tricks, right?
Exactly. Things like acronyms or rhymes.
Yeah.
Or vivid imagery that you can associate with whatever you're trying to remember.
Right.
They can make it more engaging and help those memories stick.
Right. I used to use those all the time in school. I'm definitely going to try incorporating those back into my life. Maybe I'll finally be able to remember where I put my keys. What else is on the list? Okay, this one sounds pretty crucial, especially these days. Critical thinking.
Yeah.
It seems like we're just bombarded with information from all sides. It's hard to know what to believe.
It's more important now than ever to be able to critically evaluate information, separate fact from fiction, and identify any bias or logical fallacies.
But isn't critical thinking something you're either born with or you're not? Like, some people are just naturally more analytical.
Well, it's true that some people might be predisposed to critical thinking. It's definitely a skill that can be learned and improved with practice.
So how do we train our brains to be more critical?
The episode suggests actively engaging with information instead of passively consuming it.
Okay.
So things like analyzing news articles from different sources,
Right.
engaging in respectful debates with friends or colleagues,
Yeah.
even trying logic puzzles or brain teasers.
I like that active engagement. It's about asking questions, digging deeper, looking beyond the surface.
Exactly. It's about forming your own informed opinions based on evidence and reasoning, instead of just accepting whatever you see or hear at face value.
Okay, I'm gonna make a conscious effort to be more critical in my everyday life. No more mindless scrolling. What's next on our brain-boosting agenda? Right, this is something we all struggle with, and it never seems to go away. Stress. I know it's not good for me, but I don't always connect it to my brain health.
Yeah, chronic stress can really do a number on our cognitive function. When we're stressed, our bodies release hormones like cortisol,
Right.
and in small doses, cortisol can actually be helpful.
Yeah.
But over time, it can damage brain cells and impair our memory.
So it's not just that we feel foggy and can't focus when we're stressed, it's actually physically harming our brains.
That's right. And stress also messes with our sleep, which, as we talked about earlier, is so important for brain health. It's a vicious cycle.
Okay, so stress is bad. What can we do about it? Besides, winning the lottery and retiring to a tropical island.
Tempting as that sounds, there's some more practical things we can do.
Okay, good.
The episode really stresses finding healthy stress management techniques that work for you.
Things like exercise and meditation, spending time in nature. We've talked about a lot of those already.
Exactly. And it's not about completely eliminating stress, because that's not realistic.
Right.
It's about building resilience and developing those coping mechanisms that allow you to manage stress effectively.
So it's another example of that holistic approach. Taking care of our mental and emotional well-being is just as important as all those brain exercises.
Absolutely. It's all connected. What's good for the body is good for the mind, and vice versa.
Makes sense. Okay, on to the final tip for boosting our IQs. What's left?
This one is so simple, but people always forget about
Let
it.
me guess. Sleep.
That's a good one. But no, this time we're talking about hydration.
Staying hydrated. It's funny, I do actually notice a difference when I'm not drinking enough water.
It makes a huge difference. Our brains are about 75% water. Did you know that? Even mild dehydration can really mess with your focus, memory, just overall cognitive performance.
It's true. I know when I'm feeling sluggish or having trouble concentrating, sometimes I just need a glass of water.
Exactly. Because water is crucial for so many brain processes. Transporting nutrients, removing waste products, regulating temperature. When we don't get enough, those processes just can't work as efficiently.
It's like trying to run a car without enough oil. Things just don't run as smoothly.
A perfect analogy. And the best part is, it's an easy fix. Carry a water bottle. Set reminders on your phone. Make it a habit to drink water throughout the day.
Small change, big impact.
Absolutely.
And that seems to be the theme throughout this whole deep dive. Boosting your IQ isn't about some crazy life overhaul. It's these small but powerful habits.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's about those daily choices that support our cognitive function. Reading that challenging book, having a thought-provoking conversation with someone, even just prioritizing sleep and staying hydrated, they all add up.
So listener, here's a final thought. What's one thing you learned from this deep dive that you're going to try this week?
Write it down. Set a reminder. Tell a friend. Whatever works for you. Because we've learned that boosting your IQ isn't some far-off goal. It's a journey, and you can start today.
We're all in this together, so share your experiences, your successes, your struggles even. We're here to support each other on this path to a sharper,